Hi Harstem. Recently I've been struggling against Terran Mech. While I didn't enjoy the Broodlord Infestor style of the past at all, nowadays it feels like Terran gets a similar amount of bases up, and just turtles it becomes nearly impossible to defeat. It seems to me that Zerg late game sucks. Broodlords die to Taurs, Vipers die to Taurs. Ultras die to everything, and Infestors require your opponent to suck and not scan when they move out. Usually the strategy I go for is to go up to 90 plus workers as soon as I recognize it's a turtle Terran and try to prevent them from expanding to a fifth. I know I won't ever get an efficient trade in the late game, but it doesn't matter if I have more resources than they do. So, is it Imba or do I suck? Thanks. Lowko. Oof. Mr. Lowko decided it was time to send a replay in as he had a ladder game. In which he just could not fight the mechanical Terran army. Now, once I saw this replay, guys, I changed my life. I showered this morning, which is something that usually only happens once a week. Put on a nice shirt, combed my hair, put on some cologne, as it's ready to bury a fellow content creator. So we have a replay here with well, I mean, when I say bury, I mean, of course, analyze whether any mistakes were made. He said, Mech is overpowered, everything he can do against it sucks, and we're here just to judge to see if he made any mistakes. So is it imbalanced or does it suck? And yeah, let's hop straight into it. So it's a game on Ice and Chrome between him and a Terran called SJK. Let's see how it goes. I'm not quite sure how good this SJK is, but Lowko is pretty decent at the game, might I say. He's pretty damn good, so it's interesting to see a high-level game like this. Let's see what happens at this MMR, guys. So we have the standard SCV Reaper stuff, trying to deny a third base. Lowko is pretty smart, takes the other third base. On a map like Ice and Chrome, that's no problem. Loses a drone to a Reaper. That's not quite as brilliant, but, you know, I sometimes lose 2 probes to a Reaper, so losing 1 drone to a Reaper... You know, everyone has bad days. We're not gonna blame him too much for that, alright? We're not gonna blame him too much for that. Throws down a creep tumor at the perfect time. Forgets about his... No, actually, so far everything is good. Perhaps a second queen at some point, or a third queen. And yeah, life is gonna be completely fine here for my good friend Lowko. So far, yeah, Lowko, first 3 minutes. Well, I don't want to say perfect because you lost a worker, but... I mean, the build order, everything so far makes sense. I'm definitely a fan. Reaper comes back in. Okay, two drones. At this stage in the game, I'm not too sure. We're still lacking an extra queen as well. So I'm not too fond of the opening. Okay, not too fond of the opening anymore. Third queen is a little bit late, which means. Decisions will have to be made whether you want to inject or put creep tumors down at this point. Let's see what Lowko decides to do. Opponent, the meanwhile, is using his barracks to float for the high ground. Now, usually this is an indicator of something mechy afterwards, right? Could be fusion core for battle cruisers like we're seeing here. Could be just Banshee. It is going to be a fusion core. Which I'm excited for. Battle cruisers are always quite exciting. Lowko has almost no scouting information, has been supply blocked for quite some time. Is still only on 3 queens, 4 minutes into the game. That is pretty slow if you compare it to most other people. They would have way more queens. A lot of the time you'll see them produce 3 queens from their natural hatchery. And then get their next queen over here at the fourth base as well, and they kind of continue queen production until they have 7 or 8 queens against Terran majority of the time. Queens also should always be in position to stop any types of Hellions from just poking on the creep. Now the way you want to... He also finished this extractor. Okay, I didn't see that. That's pretty funny. That's not perfect either, Lowko. Once again, I can forgive you these minor errors. So, you want to have overlords kind of at the edge of the creep, so you can spot Hellion movement easily. And that way you kind of mirror the movement of the Hellions with your queens. So, you'd have an overlord over here, maybe an overlord over here. I mean, this overlord... I guess is quite useful. This one could be pushed a bit further down as well, so you have a quicker way of spotting things. This overlord is being kind of useless. This Overlord is being pretty useless. So we have 2-3 Overlord. Oh my god, there's 2 more here. We have 4 or 5 Overlords that could be positioned in different places as to make it a lot easier to counter any type of Hellion play. Now, like I said before, his queen count is a lot lower than it should be, and that's not brilliant. He also rushed Lair to go straight into Baneling Speed. Now, this is a move I haven't seen before. Nowadays, when we see Lair rushes, we see them either for an extremely fast Spire, or, well, actually, that's just it. We just see them for an extremely fast Spire. I haven't really seen them for anything else whatsoever to speak of. So I am not entirely sure what this is for, honestly. I mean, we have a couple of Hellions now coming in. I mean, there's 3 Banelings, but you're not really going to be catching Hellions with Banelings. I guess he does catch a couple, but I mean, that's even without Baneling speed, so I'm not too sure about it. Battle Cruiser comes in here. Now, when we think of Mech, we see 2 very popular responses in the pro scene, and a very common response we see is Mass Muta. And people say, well, what about Thors? Doesn't Thor just kill Mass Muta? You'd be surprised how well these top players do with Mass Muta against Thor. And another one is most of the time Ravager, Roach, Corruptor, and then going into Lingbane, Ravager after on high worker counts and just continuously trying to kill bases on the side. And playing this very high momentum game with rather inefficient trades, but because you're outmining your opponent by so much, a lot of the time you're going to be able to just kind of kill them. Like, they'll run out of money eventually and then you win. Mech is kind of popular at the moment in the professional meta as well, but it hasn't been doing extremely hot, honestly. It you know, the times I see Mech, a lot of the time the Zerg ends up winning. So here we have so you have +1 on range, and we have Carapace upgrade, so this should be Roach Corruptor. Hydralisk, Spire, and 4 more queens. I am afraid Lowko is slowly losing the plot a little bit here. He is slowly losing the plot. I think he just went in a cinema and he expected to watch The Incredibles, but really he's watching a human centipede and he's confused where the superheroes are and what these people are doing to each other. Huh. Yes, Lowko, this is Cinema Hall 2. Here we play Roach Corruptor. Corruptor Hydra is not a composition. In order to ensure that all my information is correct, you know, as I'm here possibly roasting a fellow content creator, I have a couple of helplines and I'd like to use the first one. So here comes the first Terran expert. Alright, I'm gonna ask you a question and I want you to answer it honestly, okay?
Okay.
What do we think of Hydra Corruptor as a composition to beat Battlecruiser Mech?
Do I really have to answer that?
No, this was fine. Well, that Terran expert seemed pretty clear on Lowko's decision so far. So let's continue into this game. Hydra Corruptor doesn't really seem to be a composition here. So we'll put that as the first strike, and we're gonna use for our strike system we're gonna use the American justice system, which is based on baseball. So 3 strikes and you're out. That's what we're gonna be using here. And right now, Lowko has got his first major strike. Let's see how many we can rack up in this game. Corruptor Hydra, not a composition. As creature, that's actually looking pretty good. His work account is looking good. How is his information looking? I mean, he knows it's Mech, which is interesting. He knows it's what do you call these bad boys? Battle cruisers. He's doing a fine job stopping the battle cruisers from doing any damage. Now, the thing when you think about Mech, and especially with Corruptor-based plays, is that a lot of the time you don't really want to use these as a late game composition very much. a lot of the time what you want to do is you kind of want to stop the battle cruisers with your corruptors and then do big attacks on the 4th base, on the 3rd base, and with high banelink counts to snipe planetaries, basically. That's kind of what you want to be doing. You want to be playing an aggressive style. If you don't want to be playing an aggressive style, you got to attack very fast into Hive to get quickly into Vipers, because Viper is the one unit that can help you trade very well against mech compositions. So in that case, with big Viper counts, you're just trying to walk around, pick up a tank here and there. I mean, there's nothing really here right now to deal with Vipers, right? There's basically pure tank. There's a couple of battle cruisers, but you can just pick these up. Now, as we continue in this game, we still see, of course, the resource advantage here for Lowko, which is extremely nice. Getting a lurker then. Alright, well, I'm curious to see what he's going to use it for. This could just be as a distraction for when the Terran scans and he sees, oh, lurker then, my opponent is an idiot. Then he might start playing worse. I kind of like that idea of Lowko, honestly. Because I mean, his current composition isn't that great already. And his opponent probably is already considering that his opponent, you know, might not be the brightest tool in the shed. Yeah, here we go. Here's the scan. He's like, lurkers. This guy's an idiot. This is a free win. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see way more dangerous unit movement and just bad moves all around now from the Terran. Because it's like, well, if someone builds lurkers against Mech, that person definitely didn't finish elementary school. So, I really like this by Lowko, actually. I'm kind of tempted to remove one of the strikes just for this brilliant move. As long as he doesn't actually build any lurkers, we're going to be completely fine. Gets his Vipers, which is good. Seismic Spines, he's sticking to the part. So whenever this gets scanned again, the Terran sees, he's actually researching upgrades as well. That's rather idiotic. And then, the Terran will start playing even worse. So you see that Lowko is not only a fantastic content creator on YouTube, he also has a massive brain, really thinking about the mind games. Just the things that you can do with the brain. And he's fantastic at that, apparently. Now, this kind of rotations are really painful to watch, of course, especially if they're completely done in vision. Whenever you're playing against Mech, you want to be confusing your opponent with quick rotations from base to base. And the way to do that is to always take the shortest route around. So you push in here, you check over here. Well, you don't push, but you poke, you prod, you poke, you prod over here, and then you just keep going until you see a vulnerable angle. Because the Terran army, this is the one thing that Mech sucks at, is at moving around. It is slow, it is crap, it doesn't do its job very well. At least moving around. That it doesn't do that job at all, honestly. So at this point, Lowko has Hydras and Corruptors. Both units are extremely good at dealing with battle cruisers, which right now there's still 3 of, and both the armies are really just kind of out of position. This is why Hydra Corruptor isn't that great. Both of them fulfill a very similar role, which isn't that useful to have. You already got that covered with the Corruptors. You don't need more Hydras. Like Roaches or Ravagers would be a lot better. They're cheaper. You can get them out a lot faster. They're less gas heavy, which allows you to attack to a Hive faster, get those Vipers. Now, when you have Vipers, what you want to be doing as Zerg is you want to be trading. Like, you just want to be spending oh, no. I'm kind of tempted to remove one of the strikes just for this brilliant move. As long as he doesn't actually build any lurkers. Poor Lowko. So, let me finish my sentence before I make a bad joke. With Vipers, you want to be trading energy for units. So you constantly want to be abducting units into preferably a Roach or Roach Ravager or Roach Ravager Bane army. So you're constantly trading, keeping your opponent's bank low, preferably even keeping them below 200 supply, which is definitely possible. I mean, these Vipers have been flying around for a very long time. And these are the first 2 abducts, and they're not even into something. Like right now, this is what should be happening all the time. You should just constantly be abducting. Now, for my bad joke. So, if you guys remember the Matrix, at a certain point, the main guy, I'm not gonna spoil too much, Neo needs to pick between 2 pills. You got the red pill, and you got the blue pill. I can't even remember what the pills do. It doesn't matter. Now, Lowko also once met a guy and he said, I have 3 pills for you. Here's the red pill, the blue pill, and here's the green pill. If you take the green pill, you will think that lurkers are a good idea against Mech. And Lowko said, I'll take the green one. Ate it. And now Lowko lost, well, not only 25 IQ by taking the green pill, but he also believes that lurkers are good against Mech. Which is honestly a bit of an issue. Let's just say that if Lowko was the main character in The Matrix, that movie would have a very different ending. Oh, the lurkers may be good against the robots? No. They're not good against the robots, man. The robots can fly. So yeah, lurkers... The reason why lurkers are not that brilliant against Mech is because everything outranges the lurker. The lurker is good because it can outrange things. And it does that. Like, this is good, Lowko. This is what we needed to be doing for the past 4 minutes. Ever since we had these Vipers out. Like, there's nothing to be able to deal with these Vipers. Absolutely nothing. All you need to do is pop, pop. There we go. Keep pulling them. Hop. The problem is he doesn't really have units because he has so much supply in Corruptors. He has 13 Corruptors. He has 6 Hydras and 4 Lurkers. He doesn't actually have an army. Like, his entire army right now is consisting of support units, which makes absolutely no sense. It's like starting a football team with like 12 goalies. It's like, first of all, you're only allowed to have 11 men on the pitch, and second of all, even if you were allowed to have 12, this would still be a terrible idea. So I kind of like that he's throwing away his Corruptors and actually getting a decent trade with it. This is it looks like a bad move, but it's a good move. You just get rid of them. They'll need them anymore. 7 Vipers perhaps is also a little bit overzealous on the Viper. I think you only need like 4, maybe 5. Should be fine. But I'm a fan that he has so many and that we're finally trying to get some trades done. And actually every time he pulls them in, he does get kills, right? Even though it's slow because he only has like 5 fighting units. He's actually getting good trades. He's still down in units lost because his initial trades weren't that brilliant, but he's at least trading at some point. And as you can see right now, when Zerg starts trading, you see that his bank is still massive, the other guy isn't even maxed and is losing a bank. This is literally all he needs to do, and he needed to be doing it for the past 4 or 5 minutes. Like, he can start doing this. Hello? Is a stationary unit gonna kill a Viper? No. Good. Actually, I think it might have killed one. But it's okay. We can let it slip by. We give a second major strike, by the way, for the fact that Lowko hadn't been using his Vipers very well. Also, now that the Corruptors are gone, you see all of a sudden his army looks a lot scarier. And I said that Hydra Corruptor is in the composition. Hydra Viper actually is kind of playable, I guess. It's not super popular anymore. It used to be a lot more popular back in the day. Nowadays it's all about these banelings blowing up bases. But, I mean, this can really trade very well. I don't understand why he uses these Hydras so forward rather than using them in unison with these Vipers, though. That makes very little sense to me. We have the battle cruiser run by. This is something that he's been doing pretty poor, I was gonna say, but now he does well. He splits off part of his army rather than his entire army. That's good, because then I was gonna say he can keep on trading, but he doesn't keep trading. He just loses units. Where are your Vipers? Okay, we still have Vipers available, and there's still 2 Lurkers, which God knows what these guys are gonna be up to. Now, what Lowko needs to do, once again, is he just needs to get his crap together. You know, a thing he could also do is 8k minerals. He could build some static defense over here, so he doesn't need to think about any type of run by. And then all he needs to do is just pull, pull, pull. Whoop, 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 pull in, pull in, pull in, hop. We get a trade. All our Vipers die. Not too great, but it's better to trade. Like, when you think of a Mech army, what you want to be doing is you just want to... In the end, there's one thing that Lowko is most likely going to be right in. And that is, your fights, most likely, are not going to be efficient. And that's completely fine. Because as a Zerg player, you have so much more mobility that you should be capable of denying his bases at a way higher rate than he can deny yours, you should be able to mine way more than him, and you should be able to constantly be forcing fights because you have abduct. Only when the Terran gets ghost out do Vipers become useless. Before that, they're always going to be able to trade. And you see, every time he has energy on Vipers, and he has his entire army together, he's getting good trades. Now, you see, hey, here we go. Still, actually, he's getting way closer in resources lost. Now, let's analyze this situation for a second here. A little bit of mid-game review. Ding, 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 ding. This base, completely open. No planetary, 0 tanks. Absolutely nothing. He's not aware of it, but I think you could guess that there might be a base here. This base, 1, 2, 3. 3 tanks, planetary basically done. 2 battle cruisers, 4, 5 turrets. Now, we can do 2 things here. We can either attack into this base and probably kill it against some losses, or we can get it for free. Or what we can do is we can keep attacking this until we think that the fight might go kind of sour, and then go over here to attack this base. Also, we could just send 3 Hydras over here, clear this base, force it to lift off, while we're killing this one. Let's see what Lowko decides to do. So he goes for this base. He, instead of right-clicking the base, he move commands into tanks to clear a turret. Does not finish down the planetary. Loses about 15 Hydras, a couple of Overseers, leave this base alive as well, and then moves back. I hadn't even thought of that scenario. I had 3 scenarios. Lowko, our green-pilled hero, once again figured out a scenario which I didn't know was there. I just didn't know it was there. Very impressive. You know, usually when at companies, imagine this, you're in charge of the hiring process of a company, and your manager tells you to hire someone that needs to be able to think out of the box. And your guy comes back with Lowko. Your manager is gonna be fuming, you know? This is why you specify that when you think out of the box, it still needs to be good thinking, you know? Like, thinking outside of the box isn't necessarily good. It's like, alright, we have 2 scenarios here, guys. We either need to cut the cost by, sacking a couple of people, or, we need to somehow get our products cheaper. And then Lowko comes with a suggestion like, how about we build down the warehouse of our supplier? Everyone in the meeting goes, oh my god, who hired this guy? Green pill logo for you, my friend. Green pill logo for you. The man, the myth, the legends. 2 lurkers still holding their, holding down the fort at this point. Lowko about to get the realization that tanks actually have superior range to lurkers. Lurker Den has done absolutely nothing good so far this game. Once again, entire army getting pulled out of position by 2 units. Loses a base, loses a bunch of drones. Even though, actually, the trades haven't been going that poor. The last few trades were kind of crap. The one where he walked into the planetary. But before that, every time he actually fights, he kind of does well. Like, he actually is doing a pretty decent job. I like this. You guys might look at this, I just wasted so many baners into a planetary. Yes, but he's denying mining against a Terran that's gonna be... Hello, Lowko? That's gonna be on lower base count. Now, that's completely fine. The thing is, you need to use this momentum to keep going. You break a location, you want to be breaking more locations. You get a good trade. Yes, this is what you need to do. You have so much money in the bank. This is absolutely perfect. You need to keep your freaking Vipers alive, though. If you don't have your Vipers alive, this kind of stuff just isn't useful. Because you need to continuously be trading. Now, even at this point, so we saw a fight which was probably slightly inefficient for Lowko. But if we look at everything that has just happened, is we have an 8k bank here for Lowko. We have a 700 bank for the Terran. Lowko has map control. He has decent creep spread still out. He should be taking this base. Everything I say about split map scenarios versus Terran, where you don't want to have them, are untrue once Zerg is up a base. Now, I'm not great at counting, but most mineral patches have about 1500 minerals. Some of them have a little less. What is it? 800? 900. So in a base, you're gonna get about, 5k minerals. I don't care. Approximately 6k minerals, 7k minerals. 10k, more like 10k minerals. You're gonna get about 10k minerals, okay? Alright, per base. The moment you take an extra base, you're basically up 2 bases, right? So instead of it being 7-7, all of a sudden you had 8 and he only had 6, which means you have like 20k more minerals. You're gonna get what, like 10k more gas. So all of a sudden you can be down 30k in units lost if you get a proper split map scenario where you mine 1 more base. This base is gonna be impossible for the Terran to keep. It's too far out of the way. He can never defend this area. He can never defend this area. Like, he would need to put 3 tanks over here, but without any backup defense, a couple of Vipers would be able to completely destroy that. The only thing Terran can do is push this base. So Lowko, main priority should be mining out this base and mining out this base as fast as possible, because then he can take the fights that he's been taking again and again and again without having to push his advantage. So there's 2 major ways in which you can beat Terran. 1 is by getting more mining and do a split map scenario, and 2 is by putting very high pressure on the Terran and winning purely through momentum. Now, like I said, I like the bailing stuff. The thing is, you need to keep going after it. You can't just do one of these, then wait 4 minutes until the Terran establishes the position again, and then go again. The moment you put on pressure is the moment you need to keep going again and again. Now, actually Lowko was having good fights with the Viper stuff. I'm not quite sure why he stopped. Vipers in general, even if you're going into a bailing composition, as long as you have some type of Hydra... Why does he have 19 Corruptors again? To deal with the battle cruisers? I mean, there's not that many battle cruisers. Like the 90 Corruptors are complete dead weight in this army, honestly. Like, honestly, complete dead weight. This could have been like 25 Viper or 25 Hydras and, I don't know, like 4 or 5 Vipers extra. And then you still have so much left over for banelings as well, which could be used to pick off outside bases, pushing into positions after you cleared up. Things like these are not good trades. He just doesn't have the ground army to deal with this. He just sends in 20 banelings to their death, then 7 more Hydras, then 3 more Hydras, just to clear 5 tanks. Like, this is not how it's supposed to happen. These trades should be going way better. And really, once you clear these tanks, this base is defended. So, you always gotta think of how Terran splits their supply, right? You have a bunch of supply in these battle cruisers. That could be stopped probably with a couple more spores. Maybe a small Hydra force to deal with that. Maybe some spines to deal with these Hellions. And then Terran needs to defend this area, or you can walk there. They need to defend this area. They need to defend this area. And they need to defend this area. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 main areas. 1, 2, 3... Yeah, 4 main areas that Terran needs to defend. They're gonna need more than 2 tanks per area there. Or they need to continuously be moving around. Like this should not be possible. If you have a well-organized attack on this position, Zerg should lose maybe 3 units here and should absolutely crush this. And that's exactly what happens, right? Now, you're gonna need to temporarily give this up, but you create, like, if he starts a base trade, that's really good for Zerg, right? You have a big bank, you should have larva available. You can just keep going. You just keep pushing, you go into their production, you probably win the game. Like, you're way faster at killing stuff, unless I guess your army consists of 48 Broodlords. I'm not a big fan of Broodlords usually. Oh my god, this is rally straight into the end. Look at the resource loss now. Ever since he started transitioning into banelings, it's been going worse and worse, which it makes sense because you're gonna trade worse against armies. So whenever you play a baneling style, you really need to bang, 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 bang. And if you can't bang, bang, then don't get the baneling. You know, just stay on Hydra Viper in that case, or stay on Roach Viper, Roach Ravager Viper, whatever you want to do. Broodlords are not made for playing catch, you know? This is just not what you're supposed to do. When you have Broodlords, you hope to fight, like, in the next few seconds. Like, you're not going to be chasing Hellions around with Broodlords, hopefully, because they're really freaking slow. Mech is slow. Like, literally the only thing slower than Mech in this world is the Broodlord. Yeah. Perhaps Lowko's decision making. Just kidding, Lowko, I love you, buddy. So you have Corruptors going in for a command center. Vipers are coming back in the game. I kind of like that, but his army is so... I'm not even quite sure what... Like, it's Corruptor, Hydra, Ultra, Viper, over 50 drones. He doesn't really have a... Like, what is the goal of this army? You know, the goal of this army is to have a good engagement. But if you're going for engagement, the thing you need... Like, this is another way actually to win. You can have good engagements against mech armies. But in that case, you need infestors and you need neural. So you can neural 5-6 of the mech army. The mech army kills itself while your Hydra, Ultra Force, perhaps with some Banelings. I don't even mind some Corruptors in that case. Moves in and kills it. But without infestor, it's absolutely impossible. You can't take a straight up engagement into a sieged up, maxed out mech army with non-spellcasters. It's just not possible. Unless he doesn't have enough anti-air, you have a lot of Brute Lords. But I don't think that's very... This actually might be a pretty decent engagement, honestly. One Blinding Cloud would help a lot, Lowko. No Blinding Cloud. But yeah, this engagement obviously is very good. It was a non-sieged army. You see a lot of the Terran units are still kind of just set around the map as well. Lowko just killed his way. This was a really good fight, honestly. I'm proud of him for that. I mean, he does have a big army supply at this point. His bank is growing lower and lower. He's not even really maxed anymore. Ultralisk does go down. I feel like the many playstyles he's trying to mix isn't really working. It's like, you know, you ever have these guys that ask you for advice. People that go to the gym, they know what I'm talking about. And you have like a friend who wants to start as well, and he asks you for advice, and you just tell him. It doesn't really matter what you tell him, right? You tell him, hey, like, you have ever heard of the 5-5 or whatever, like the strong lips? It's like a decent program. Like, people are gonna make gains with this kind of stuff, you know? And your friend does one workout of strong lifts, and then he calls you up like, Kevin, this strong lift stuff isn't working for me. My bicep didn't grow 5 centimeters. And you're like, well, like, maybe give it some time. It's like, no, I'm trying something else now. I'm doing full body workouts 8 times a week. And he does 2 full body workouts. He looks in the mirror. He's like, my chest isn't the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger yet. That's an issue here for me. And I'm like, okay, well, like, just try to stick with a plan. Maybe he's like, no. Listen to this, Kev. I got something new. I'm gonna be running 3 times a week. And then I'm just going to be body weight as well at home. And I think this is the key. I saw some videos of calisthenics guys and they look insanely buff. And I'm like, all right, good luck. Like, just stick to the program. It's like, after 2 calisthenics workouts and half a run, he decides to call it quits. He tells me he has bad genetics and can never actually become big. That right here is what Lowko is doing. He switches composition into composition without actually sticking with it or following the game plan with it. He started with, well, Hydra Corruptor, which isn't a composition. We're going to skip that part. Then he goes into Hydra Viper, which actually was working reasonably well. He just wasn't executing it very well. He wasn't doing the exercises the correct way. He wasn't having the proper nutrition, but the plan was good. He was trading. He was doing a good job. He was winning the game very hard, I think, at certain points. Then he goes into mass baneling, but once again, he didn't start with that plan. And Hydra baneling, or well, it's not really supposed to be Hydra baneling, but Ravager Bane is a composition where you play on high momentum. So this is not the time to use that plan anymore. The time for that plan is way past. Then that doesn't work. He's like, crap, I'm losing all my workers. Let's just go a fighting army. But he doesn't execute the fighting army correctly. He doesn't have the infestors. And that's the issue here. He just keeps switching plans and he never is growing his muscle. And then he complains to me that he has crap genetics. No, you don't have crap genetics. Just stick with the plan, man. It's better to stick with a crap plan than to keep switching between decent plans without actually completely executing it. This is the rain of mules that we're waiting for. When you have 3 Zerglings and you see 12 mules drop, you're like, alright, we're gonna be in trouble in the next minute and a half. That's a good run by though. There's one thing that can be said about Lowko, is that he's quite patient with the way that he sets up, I was gonna say sets up engagement. As I say, there's literally runs in, head-butting this mech army with Ling, Hydra, Corruptor, 2 Brute Lord. But before this, he was being pretty patient with setting up engagement. He was very consistent with his run bys, with his things. That's one of the things I do appreciate in this game, where he is playing pretty well. But yeah, it's just not gonna be enough, right? Like honestly, the game is way closer than I thought it would be with the mistakes that he's been making. I stopped counting strikes, but we would be at about 5 right now at this point. So my adder can just add a 5th one right now, just the quick jump. He would be in jail twice already. It's like live. You're never coming out, Lowko. It's over for you. Baseball, he would be at the bench again. If Lowko would be playing curling, he would be in trouble as well. Because curling is a very technical sport. Nothing to do with the 3 strikes though. Corruptor's just flying around. Lowko is busy admitting defeat. He's taking his sweet time for it. I actually like that he's staying in though. I mean, he still has pretty decent income, right? He has 67 workers. He's doing good damage. There's not that many planetaries anymore. Like this is just a regular base, which means if he can somehow stop this base, he could be in good shape. I don't think he's going to be able to stop this base because he literally only has Ling Bane. But you could see a world in which Lowko would have won this game. Perhaps had he taken the red or the blue pill. Sadly, Lowko decided to take the green one. Lurker, still down, I'm not quite sure what he did. I think this is the first time I see a Lurker. Oh no, at least kill it, please. Okay, there we go. Lurker gets a kill, dies 5 seconds later. Lowko, yeah, dang it. Freaking range of these tanks, so broken. Here we go, headbutting into 12 doors. I mean, it's not gonna work. Now, it would make my day complete if we can get a little bit of the flame here, Lowko. Just tell him how broken Mech is. Come on. Lowko is too nice for this kind of stuff. That's the problem. Too nice. Lurkers get burrowed. Do absolutely nothing. Kill half a Hellbat. The Taurs march in. Just literally a right-click Lurkers. Lowko. This is a man in disbelief. Tried everything. That's the thing. It's the same with the gym, you know? He tried everything and it doesn't work. My friend, stick with the plan. Lowko, you sent me a Twitter DM. Not even an email, a Twitter DM. Complaining that Terran is too strong. Vipers die to Taurs. Broodlords die to Taurs. Ultras die to everything. And Infestors require your opponent to suck and not scam when they move out. I don't quite know about your opponent, but you definitely didn't play too well this game. You did not play too well. Your Broodlords did die to Taurs. Your Vipers did die to... Well, actually, I'm not quite... I think your Vipers might have died to turrets. Your army composition was incorrect. Your idea, your general concept of high workers and then taking semi-efficient trades, denying bases on the outside, is a good plan. But... really try to stick with it a bit better. Your Viper control could use a little bit of work. Your consistency of trading. You kind of want to, when you play like this, you want to really cut off a part of the map where he can't be doing counterattacks. Like I said, with that static defense that you definitely have money for. And then all of a sudden, if you're only focusing on the army you have at hand, you can think about making rotations to sides where his army isn't. And that's really just it. I mean, you played a decent game, but Mech is not imbalanced, my friend. You just... Wait, what? I think I have some better guys to do this for me. Let's go, boys.
Hello, Lowko. I've come to conclusion that you suck.
Lowko, you suck, man.
Lowko, you suck.
Lowko, you suck.
Yes. You do suck, Mr. Lowko. Alright, that's gonna be it for me today. Before I go, please thank Lowko for his cooperation with this series. Don't go flaming him that he sucks, that's not very nice. Finally, we have someone else that actually wants to do a video with me. And then if you guys go flame him and make his life miserable, that would have been nice. So please follow him and do his stuff on YouTube. Like, he's actually great. He's a great lad. I absolutely love him. I also have my stuff, but thanks so much, Lowko. And see you all next time. Bye-bye.